3, 2, 1. What is going on, man? Welcome back to the channel. If you're looking for a sick story, I had one of the best weekends of my life. Today is Monday's view from the mountain. Actually, I'm recording this on Sunday, and I'm going to be talking about a party I went to on Friday for a Machinima event. I met some amazing people, so I'm going to be talking about that. If you're more interested in my funny stuff, be sure to check out my On the Battlefield series. It's something that's blowing up right now, and we are live, which is always good. If you're interested in that, not so much this video, but if you are, I'm excited, you guys. I had, like I said, one of the best weekends ever. It was such an experience. Now, here I am, Stone Mountain, this small YouTuber, 6,000 subscribers. I live near LA, fortunately. I go to Cal State Fullerton. This is just kind of a side hobby for me, so here I am, and I get this email, and partners are invited to a party in Los Angeles, Hollywood. They rented out a place, IOLA it was called, which was right on Hollywood Boulevard, right next to like the Chinese theater. Really nice place, really nice location. And it invited us out, said they're, celebrating the partners, doing something for us, something exciting, and I was probably the first person to RSVP, to be honest. I got the email, and within a minute, I was already RSVP. Yeah, I'm going there, man. I was so excited to go, and it was everything I hoped it would be. Now, I was kind of scared because I don't know anybody at Machinima. I've tried emailing them a few times. It was kind of hard to get through. I never really put any faces to names or anything. And I know some people that work at Machinima that, just because I watched them on YouTube or whatever, or I previously had and now they work there, such as, say, Seananners, who I met. But, so I knew a few people, but they didn't really know me or anything. So, and even partner-wise, this was, 4 partners. So there was a lot of partners there, and I really didn't know any of them before I went. So here I am, just this guy going in by himself, and actually, since I knew this was happening, my mom had mentioned a book to me. It was called How to Work a Room. And so I picked that up, and I read that before I went. It actually really helped me a lot. I would recommend it. If you guys are trying to be more social, not only do you need to have the kind of knowledge of how to do it, but you need to have practice doing it. And that was something that I really picked up on today, or Friday, right? So I read the book, got some information on how to be kind of more social, because I'm not the most sociable person. I was kind of shy, so I wanted to kind of conquer that and get out there, because I was going into a room full of strangers. When I first got there, here I am, just this guy. I was waiting in line to kind of check in. I talked to the person behind me a little bit, who ended up being part of the Tortuga, Reckless Tortuga. Those guys, if you ever seen them, which was crazy. Those guys are awesome. But so I spoke with one of those guys for a minute and checked in, ended up going in, and sure enough, everybody's already talking, hanging out, and where do I go? So I started walking in, and I see this tall guy, so I go over, and it was T. Martin, right? I know what he looks like. I saw him, and it was T. Martin. Probably not the best person for me to start off with. I was a little bit awkward going up to him, and I managed to pull off a few words. I was like, how you doing, man? And he's like, we kind of had a little bit of a conversation. It was a little awkward, but anyways, I moved on after that. Just talked to him for a few seconds, kind of introduced myself a little bit. And, they're playing music, so it was pretty loud in there, too. But this was just a mixer, there was no games or anything else to keep yourself occupied with. You were either talking to somebody or just sitting down or standing alone, really. So I made it a goal, and I had the confidence, I had the kind of know-how to maintain myself now that I read the book. I was a professional, so I needed to put it into practice, get some experience. So maybe T-Mar wasn't the best person to start with, but I talked to some other people. I met some other really great smaller YouTubers who I just had a great time talking to a lot of them, especially because, the thing is, I'm going to Cal State Fullerton. I'm in my 3rd year of economics, right? So that's pretty specific and doesn't really relate to video games. Am I right? Economics, business, that type of stuff. I guess some aspects of it definitely does relate to it, but not so much as game development or something. So a lot of my friends, they're not hardcore gamers like myself. They'll casually pick up a controller and play a few games of Call of Duty or something, but they're not as into it as I am. I'm up to date with all of the news, all the stuff on YouTube, all of this type of stuff. And I don't really have a lot of friends that are into the same category. So anyways, talking to these guys was really, it was really fun because these are the same type of personality people. You know, the reason why I watch xJawz and Syndicate, these guys were similar. We have a lot of similarities, whether, you know, it's the game that we talk about or, you know, just personality-wise, staying positive, this type of mentality. I can really relate to it. That's why I really like watching them. So, and I did meet them. I'll talk about that in a minute, but I met those guys, which was so sick. But so I went in there, I talked to T-Mar, I was meeting some people. I was getting a lot more confident as I kept going up to different people. I probably met at least 20 people, new people I never met, and got a few business cards, and that was something I actually learned. I should have had a business card, but how would I have known that? A YouTube business card? I don't know. I thought that might have been weird. Like, what if I was the only guy with a business card? I go in here, hey, here's my business card. Oh, what? So I'm that one guy with the business card about YouTube, you know? No, but it turned out to be opposite. I was the only guy kind of without one. Besides, you know, the other smaller guys, they didn't really have one either. But anyways, learned I needed a business card. I actually made one. I'll post that on Facebook if you guys want to take a look at it. I think it's pretty sick. I could get some more opinions on that. Back to the story, though. I go in, meeting some people, getting the feel for a meeting, introducing myself, and I spoke with this one guy. I believe his name was Freddie. I didn't get his business card or anything like that, but I spoke with him. He was kind of a shorter guy, hilarious, great person to talk to. He worked at Machinima. He used to be PA, I think it was called, for Hollywood, and did some different stuff in Hollywood. Just really interesting story. And now he was working for Machinima, and over the past 2 years, you know, he didn't know anything about gaming before, and now he's got this huge, like, knowledge of it, you know, because when you work in the industry, you really learn a lot. So he picked up on all of that, and he's, you know, having a great time there. So I started talking to him, but when I introduced myself, I said, I'm Stone Mountain, David, you know, and my name's, you know, my gamer tag's Stone Mountain. That's kind of my name. And he's like, Stone Mountain? No way! I love you, dude. Your featured video on your channel was hilarious. And he happened to see it because he was going through the roster for one of the people that he worked with, going through, you know, checking some people out, and he accidentally clicked my link to my channel or something like that, and he ended up watching one of my videos, loved it, so he sent it over to one of his other coworkers, and she came up to me later and said, oh, Freddie told me that you were Stone Mountain, and she introduced herself to me, and that was kind of cool. But he also sent my name over to Fwiz. Now, Fwiz is a shoutcaster. He did like MLG stuff, and he's currently in charge of Machinima Live, you know, live streaming and that type of stuff. So he's told me to go introduce myself to him later. He sent the video over to Fwiz, and Fwiz might have watched it or whatever. And I went over, talked to Fwiz later on in the evening, and he was like, Stone Mountain, dude, you have some great stuff. So I was like, oh, yeah, because, you know, that's Fwiz, man. He's a shoutcaster. He's straight up MLG, professional, legit guy. I watched some of his stuff, and, you know, he really knows what he's doing, and that's kind of nice, too, because we have kind of that similar shoutcaster personality mentality. He was really high energy, enthusiastic guy, great guy, and anyways, so I talked to him, kind of got a little bit of a conversation going there, and then I also eventually went up and I got introduced to Syndicate, who was amazing guy. You know, I love watching him. I have a lot in common with him, kind of. But he was talking about Kate for a while, and, you know, he was going to fly out to Texas to see her tomorrow, and we talked about a few other things, like zombies, whatever, but it was great talking to him. Just a really genuine person, same as in, you know, his channel. I also met xJawz, spoke with him for a few minutes, talked about how he was actually the first person I started watching on YouTube. I don't remember if I mentioned that, but he was the first person I started watching. And then I also went up and introduced myself to Tobuscus. He was there. I didn't know he was part of Machinima, but you know, he's got the gaming channel, so yes, he was. And I had a good 5 or 10 minute conversation about, you know, shoutcasting, economics, my major. He said his car was broken into the other day, and he was one of the best people to talk to. Great conversationalist. It felt like he had time to talk to me, and then, you know, I just excused myself later because I didn't want to take up his whole evening here at Tobuscus, you know. Great guy, great personality, amazing talking to him, and everybody I talked to a lot of smaller YouTubers who I had a lot in common with that, you know, also I started talking to, made a lot of great connections. I also met a few other names, Shibby, if you guys know him. Saw APL Fisher was there, MuzzaFuzza. I met Seananners. I told him my name, kind of introduced myself, and then he's like, hey, 64? Did you get that from a Nintendo 64? And he guessed it. But so I had a quick conversation with him. I just met so many great YouTubers and so many great people. You know, these people get to the position they're at because of their personalities and because people actually like them, and I actually really like them. They're genuine people, so laid back and calm and everything. It was really an awesome time. I can't even get over it. I still am as ecstatic as I am on Sunday, 2 days after it. It was really something else. Being in that room with all those people, it was really something else. Especially because I look up to these people so much. These are the people that I watch. They're kind of like my role models. So I had an absolutely fantastic time. Machinima is awesome. It was so great meeting all the people that worked for them, put on such a great party. I'm really looking forward to the next one and any more that they have. If I think of anything else about the night that I'll talk about, or if you guys want me to expand on anything, be sure to let me know. But that's it for today. Be sure to check out my other series, like I said. But that's it for me. More And We're Lives and things coming on the way. Thanks so much for watching, guys. This is StoneMount64 signing out. Peace, guys.